I didn't quit that security job because of the pay. I quit after one night that made me question something simple. Why would someone open a door and walk into the dark for no reason? I worked night security at a remote logistics warehouse outside the city. The place was massive, fenced off, cameras everywhere. But outside that fence, nothing. Just open land, empty fields, and complete darkness after sunset. I was stationed at the front gate. My coworker, Ethan, worked the back gate. We were about half a mile apart, and the only way we communicated was through radios. Most nights, we just talked to pass the time. Around 1:40 a.m., Ethan suddenly went quiet. Then he said,
"Hey, are you hearing that?"
I glanced at my monitors. Nothing here. What is it? There was a pause. Then he said,
"There's a sound, but it's not right."
I leaned forward. What do you mean?
It's not screaming. It's not an animal.
Another pause.
It sounds like someone trying to copy a human voice.
That made me sit up straight. Copy how?
It's close, like the tone is human, but something's off. Like someone trying to talk without knowing how.
I didn't like that. Stay inside, I told him. Don't go out. A few seconds passed. Then he said,
"There's a light."
Where?
"In the field. A flashlight, moving."
I checked the cameras. Nothing on my end. Probably someone lost, I said. But Ethan didn't sound convinced.
"It's moving slow.
Then quieter.
Every time the light moves, the sound gets closer."
I frowned. What do you mean?
"It's not coming from the same place."
That didn't make sense. Then his voice dropped even lower.
"I think it's close now."
I felt it then. That pressure in your chest when something isn't right. Lock your door, I said, right now. But his voice changed, slower, focused on something else.
"It's calling me."
I froze. Who is? No answer. Then,
"It's saying my name."
a sharp chill went through me. Ethan, who's saying your name? Silence. Then the radio cut to static. Ethan? Nothing. I tried again. Still nothing. I called his phone, straight to voicemail. At that point, I knew something was wrong. I pulled up the camera feed from the back gate. Ethan was sitting inside the booth, normal. Then suddenly, he looked up. Not like he heard something far away, more like something was right outside the door. He stood up slowly, walked toward the door, stopped. He didn't reach for the handle, he just stood there, slightly tilting his head, like he was listening to someone standing inches away. Seconds passed. Too many seconds. Then, the camera flickered, just for a moment. One frame, but it was enough. Something moved across the very edge of the image, darker than the night outside. I froze. Ethan didn't react to the flicker. He just kept listening. Then he opened the door. But he didn't step out right away. He stood in the doorway, completely still, head slightly lowered, like someone whispering directly in front of him. I checked the timestamp later. 8 seconds. He stood there for 8 full seconds, just listening. Then he stepped outside, slowly. No hesitation, no fear. That's what got me. He wasn't scared. He moved like someone who had already decided, like someone responding. He didn't grab his radio, didn't close the door. He just walked into the dark. I paused the footage, rewound it, watched it again. That's when I noticed something I missed the first time. Ethan wasn't looking out into the field. He wasn't looking at the light. He was looking at something right in front of the door, something just outside the camera's view, close enough to make him tilt his head, like he was listening to it. My stomach dropped. I grabbed my keys and drove to the back gate. The booth door was open, lights still on, his radio sitting on the desk. Ethan, gone. I stepped outside and called his name.
Ethan!
The sound disappeared into the open field. No echo, no response. Then I saw it. Far out in the field, a light, moving slowly, exactly like he described. I didn't go closer, I just stood there. "Ethan, if that's you, come back!" The light stopped. For a few seconds, then it went out. Just like that. Gone. I got back in the vehicle and locked the doors. Waited until sunrise. Police showed up. Search teams, dogs, drones. They found nothing. No footprints. No sign of a struggle. No direction he went. It was like he just disappeared. They said he left his post. But I saw the footage. Ethan didn't wander off. He didn't get lost. He heard something. Something that knew his name. Something that got close enough to stand right outside that door. And whatever it was, he listened. He understood. And he followed. I quit the next day. But that's not the reason I still think about that night. A few nights later, I was at home, alone. Phone on the table, TV off, no sound. Then, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I didn't answer. It went to voicemail. I almost ignored it, but something made me listen. There was no background noise, no breathing, just a voice, quiet, careful, trying to sound human, saying one thing over and over and over. My name.